Around 12 days before smart contracts come to Cardano blockchain, ADA price right now, sideways, consolidating. Will smart contracts coming to Cardano deliver a price surge to ADA? What's up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit the subscribe and like on the way in. Let's jump into it. Let's see if I can get through. This is my second time recording. I had some mic issues earlier. Let's try this. This is the weekly. You know what's going on in the weekly, everybody. We've been tracking it. I don't need to go fully into detail, but it's the 63-day windows leading into hard forks. This is the story that we've just been waiting for, the smart contract story. And now it is approaching September 12th, quickly approaching. One thing I just noticed real quick is we're kind of, and this is my own mind. This isn't like anything that's guaranteed to happen. This entire move to the upside wasn't guaranteed. It was speculative. Just it happened before, leading into Mary hard fork, Shelly hard fork. It was just speculative that it may happen with Alonzo. Now, if you look at this chart, we're around just 12 days, 2 weeks, whatever you want to call it. We had a similar red candle back here before Shelly at the end of July. So this was middle of July. Just a red candle of consolidation. Then we had the final burst to the upside. Now, when we dig into what happened here before Mary, we did have a final burst to the upside. And really right now, the thing I'm asking myself is, are we going to have a final burst to the upside here with Cardano leading into this hard fork in the next couple weeks? That's my question. Now, I don't mean that to say we get a final burst and then it's just boom, bear market or something, maybe. But are we going to get a final burst here? Is something going to happen with price to the upside as it did in the previous two hard forks? Before I jump into the details, the zoomed in charts and what is happening here on the short term, I want to throw this out there. This is a caution. This is a very, very big caution. And you know that I've been covering Cardano extremely bullishly, probably since, I guess, 10 cents, I would say, is probably a good area on the charts. Just extremely bullish for Cardano. And it's played out really well. I mean, it's played out extremely well. Right now, Cardano's at 273. We just hit all-time high. But now I want to do a video. And this doesn't mean there's no more upside in play. But I want to do a video just saying, and not even a full video, just really a comment right here. Be ready, everyone, for downside. Bitcoin's doing its own thing on its own charts. 20-week moving average, probably around 10% below where it is right now. We need to track what Bitcoin's doing. There's potential for a dip to that area. And if that area falls, it could be on the macro charts for all of crypto, not a good thing. So when we look at something like the weekly chart on Cardano, you want to keep that in mind, especially when we have something like this. We have this high on the RSI, this lower high, and right now potentially putting in another lower high. Now we could see just this continue to come down and the price actually just trade sideways. Very similar thing happened back here before hitting all-time high. So just because we see downward momentum doesn't mean price is going to be just tanking into a bear market. I want to throw that out there. But you want to be very, very, very aware of the fact that big dips can happen right now. We're in all-time high territory. We just hit all-time high. Most of you out there have seen gains for Cardano. Evaluate your situation. I am a huge proponent of taking profits. I've taken profits. I even now just analyze, should I take more profits? When should I sell? How should I sell? How much should I sell? These are things I ask myself. I'm just here tracking the data with you so that we can kind of make those best decisions in the best way possible. And it's always different for each and every one of us. All of our portfolios are different. Our entry points, our exit points, everything is different. But what I just want to throw out there is we've seen some really nice gains in Cardano. And if you're out there and you're just thinking that it just goes up forever and that's what crypto does, usually that's not the case. So always be prepared for downside. And I don't mean that to say to inject some bearish sentiment into what's going on right now, but I do it as a caution because like I want all of us to succeed. And just in my own mind, this is what I'm reminding myself of. So why not throw this out there to you to remind you of that as well? We just hit around $3. We were covering this since 10 cents. I mean, that alone says enough. There is still room for upside. There really is. I'm not saying there's not. I just want all of you to be careful. I want to be careful. So, because you know I'm very bullish on Cardano on the macro. When you look at this, this is in play for me on the macro charts. We're talking about $15. We're talking about $31. 500 billion market cap, $1 trillion market cap. It's in play in the long term, everybody. Everything I'm saying right now about this dip and stuff, I'm talking more the short, the midterm. Be prepared for that stuff. That's all. Let's dig into what's going on, though, on the daily chart. This is what I want to talk about. We have this area on the chart, and let me kind of get rid of some of these things so we can see this a little more clearly. This green line is a 20-day moving average, currently around 252. This green line right here, just below ADA by like 21 cents. Now, going into Mary Hard Fork, right back here, the beginning of March, and we've talked about this move, I believe, in a recent video, which is just this move to the 20-day moving average. And that was around a week before the hard fork. And Cardano had that final boost to the upside. I'm really curious now, just a little less than 2 weeks before Alonzo, and I don't know if I said Alonzo back here. I meant Mary Hard Fork. I'm sorry if I said Alonzo. I meant Mary Hard Fork back here. I might have not even said Alonzo. But going into Alonzo now in a couple weeks, I'm wondering, I'm watching. This is what I'm watching on the charts. It's a 20-week moving average, or I'm sorry, it's a 20-day moving average in general. That 20-day around 252, and we're looking at Cardano potentially just consolidating into that area, squeezing into that area in a similar fashion it did around a week before Mary Hard Fork. So are we going to get a similar move, at the very least, a test of the 20-day moving average? Now, this 20-day, maybe we get the test tonight. Maybe Cardano dips 20 cents to that 20-day moving average. Maybe it takes a few days and the 20-day gets pulled up a little bit to maybe 260. But what will Cardano do when it tests the 20-day moving average? And especially what we'll do if it's around a week before Alonzo hard fork, smart contracts. That's kind of the question on my mind. And I know it's very speculative because there's no guarantee that we're going to get a similar revisit as we had back here. But it's just 20-day moving average in general in these uptrends is important anyway. So now that we're squeezing into the last part of this rectangle, this 63-day window, I think that's a really interesting area on the charts for me, the 20-day moving average, currently around 252. But it gets even more interesting because we can start digging in a little bit and we start looking at the consolidation and the structure on Cardano on the 6-hour chart. And this is what it looks like. Kind of like a symmetrical triangle of sorts, close to an ascending triangle, but symmetrical triangle of sorts with breakout target. And let me actually, this upper trend line probably could move down a little bit. So it is trending down a little. So breakout target to the upside as of right now, that 250 to 260 range. Breakout target to the downside, right around the lower $2, 210 to 220. Be prepared. That's the type of dip I'm talking about. Be prepared for that. Now, support is interesting to me. It's a swing low to that swing high, and we have a Fibonacci confluent with a couple different areas. Number one, not surprisingly, confluent with the lower trend line itself of the triangle. Happens all the time with these higher lows, right? And just to show you what I mean is we can take this swing low to the high, and we place a Fibonacci, and look where Cardano got the support, right at the Fibonacci, higher low area. Meaning we had a low, we had a higher low, and now we have another higher low support area. Happens so often for Cardano and really any crypto. So Cardano has support to the 618, right around 265, to the 786, right around 257, 258, give or take. That's support on the short term. Cardano very well could make its way to that area. Will it hold? Notice, confluent with this entire support area is that 260 range. And what we were just talking about is Cardano potentially trickling into the 20-day moving average. Let me zoom in here so we can see this. This 20-day, if Cardano doesn't do anything drastic, could very easily be pulled up right into the Fibonacci support, that 257, 258, 259, 260 area, the 20-day moving average. Cardano can come down, test that higher low area that we just visited, while simultaneously testing the 20-day moving average. And it could all look like this on the 6-hour chart. The question is, does Cardano see support? Or do we start closing 6-hour candles outside of not only the triangle, but the support area? This is what I'm watching in the very short term because I'm very interested in this short-term consolidation, because if we get consolidation, even a little bit downside, will Cardano just get this next burst to the upside going into smart contracts? Something like we see on the screen right here. Could it happen sooner than that? Could we wake up tomorrow and it's testing $3? Maybe. But either way, we want to wait for confirmations one way or the other, because we have the support area down here, the lower trend line down here, the 20-day moving average is in this vicinity. And then to the upside, Cardano, just to give you an idea, price range wise, Cardano is only around a 6% move from the upper trend line, that 290s in the 290s, with a breakout target, remember, to the 250, 260 area. That's an important area because if we go to the daily chart, if you remember, we have that all-time high in May and at the time it was all-time high. It's not anymore. But to that really quick swing low, so like $2.50 all the way down to less than $1. And we had all the consolidation for months in between that area. We broke this Fibonacci resistance. We tested it, obviously, broke above. And now we're waiting for this 1618 line right around $3.50 up here. That's a higher high area of this Fibonacci. So that's something we've talked about, but now we have a structured target out of this symmetrical triangle in that same general vicinity, the $3.50 to $3.60 area. So there's targets to the upside. Upside potential for Cardano is there, leading into smart contracts in the next 12 days or so. So be ready for it. Be ready for the dip, and at the end of the day, wait for confirmations. We could be putting in just this sideways consolidation before just a new downtrend. And you want to be ready for that. And it starts with these little confirmations on the short term if that support were to fail. Again, 618 right around 265, 786 right around 257. We're not there yet, but let's see what Cardano does. If you look at the 6-hour chart, Cardano all along this consolidation has really cooled down on the 6-hour on this quicker moving momentum oscillator. If you go look at the momentum on the daily chart, you can see the quicker moving momentum oscillator. Cardano also in the oversold area on the daily. So there's a lot of room to the upside right now for Cardano. Cardano not overbought up here on the daily chart. Again, on the slower moving momentum oscillator, a lot of room for upside. So let's see what happens. Those are the areas I'm watching on Cardano. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I appreciate each and every one of you. I will see you in the next video. Have an awesome day. God bless.